Okay, so back to factoring. So in this case, we're going to be dealing with trinomials, factoring trinomials. Now the first thing that you read in the book, and most textbooks start out with, this is the trial and error method, where you try to do the FOIL method in reverse for trinomials. This can be tedious, okay? I understand that the thought behind it, it's some people like it, I don't. Because in this case, the idea is that you're trying to split this up into two binomials. And so you've got to figure out what numbers go here, right? So we know, for example, I could have a 1 and a 4, or a 4 and a 1. I could have a 2 and a 2, right? Or in the 6 here, how many different factors will give me that? Those are the last terms. So the two last terms give me this final term. So I could have a 1 and a 6, a 6 and a 1, a 2 and a 3, a 3 and a 2. So there's lots of different combinations, and so the trial and error, and then the order matters, because then those are going to multiply and add to get the middle term. I don't like that. It can get time consuming, especially on an exam, or, not my favorite thing to do. So, I'm going to show you the way I do it, and this works every single time. And it's called the method of decomposition, okay, or the AC method. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how this works. What I want to do is, I know I need to get the factors of the two binomials. Okay, I have to figure out what numbers will work. Okay, and so I need to find the product of the of these factors that will add up and give me the middle term. Okay, because I know in order to get the middle term, it's going to be a factor of this times a factor of that. And I've got to figure out what that is. Okay? So here's how it works. Now the AC method, remember, in a polynomial, a trinomial, the general form of a trinomial is this: ax squared plus bx plus c. So the AC method involves multiplying a and c, AC, right? The product of a and c. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we need to find factors of this product, AC. So AC equals, in this case, 24. So now what I need to find is I need to find two factors of 24 that add to negative 11. Okay? Now, since this is positive, then the two factors either have to be both negative or both positive. And since the middle term is negative, that tells me that they both have to be both negative. So what are two factors of 24 that are negative that will add to 11? Well, wrong one. I was thinking 28. Oh, let's see here. There might not be any. That's the other thing. Yes there is. Right here. There we go. Negative 3 times negative 8. So now what do? Well, guess what? Well, now I found the two factors that will add up to this So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decompose the middle term into two separate terms. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rewrite this trinomial as as 4 terms. So 4y squared minus 8y minus 3y plus 6. And guess what I'm going to do from here? You got it. Factor by grouping. So now I'm going to change this to a plus negative. So now I'm going to group these two, and I'm going to group these two with the plus in the middle. And now I'm going to factor each one. So I'm going to factor out a 4y, and that's going to leave me a y minus 2. And then I'm going to factor out a negative 3 here. So I'm going to get plus negative 3. And that's going to give me a y minus 2 here. And now I'm going to factor again. And that gives me my final answer. I'm going to factor out the y minus 2. And I get y minus 2 times 4y minus 3. And I'm done. That's it. Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to do it again. So 6 times negative 5 equals negative 30. So what are two factors of negative 30? That will give me the middle term, which is negative 7, the middle coefficient. What do you think? So we get negative 30. Now here's the thing. I have to have opposite signs to get the negative 30. So both my factors have to have opposite signs. And since this middle number is negative, the bigger factor has to be negative. So let's look at factors. So we got what? 2 and 15, that doesn't work. 3 and 10 works, right? 3 and negative 10. That'll work. So now I'm going to decompose. So I'm going to write this as 6p squared. And it doesn't really matter. So let's do plus 3 minus, plus 3p minus 10p. I could have wrote it 10p minus 10p plus 3p. It doesn't matter. It'll still work. And then minus 5. Okay, now I'm going to group it again. So group this way, and I'm going to change this to a plus minus. And now I'm going to factor. So now I'm going to factor out a 3p here. That's going to leave me with a 2p plus 1. And now here I'm going to factor out a negative 5. And that's going to leave me with 2p plus 1 again. And now I'm going to factor out the 2p plus 1. 2p plus 1. And that leaves me 3p minus 5. And I'm done. Okay, let's do another one. Now, by the way, none of these have had a greatest common factor. So again, don't forget, the first thing you want to look at is see if there's a greatest common factor. The first two didn't have greatest common factors. Okay, and neither does this one. So let's keep going. So now I'm going to do what? 2 times negative 18, which equals negative 36. So now I'm looking for two factors of negative 36 that will give me 13. Well, again, this is negative, so both of my factors have to have opposite signs, and the larger factor must be positive. So now, let's see what we get. Let's see, we got 3 times 12. Does 3 times 12 give it to us? No, I don't think so. What else will give us 36? 2 times 18, but of course that doesn't work. 4 and 9. So 4 and 9. So it's going to be negative 4, positive 9. That'll do it. Oh, wait a minute. No, it won't. I added. Let's see. There might not be a factor. And if that's the case, then we can't factor this. So let's see, we got negative 36. So let's just go through the factors. So we got 1 and 36, that doesn't work. 2 and 18, that doesn't work. 3 and 12, that doesn't work. 4 and 9, that won't work. 6 and 6. Yeah, nope. That's it. So I don't think this is factorable. Let me double check. Yep. This is not factorable. So we're done. Not factorable. Which happens sometimes, right? So, okay, now let's look at this one. So right away I know there's a common factor that I can pull out. In fact, I see that there is a greatest common factor that I can pull out, which is 4. So I'm going to pull out a 4 here. In fact, I'm going to pull out a 4y first. So now that gives me 4y squared plus 6y minus, oh wait a minute, there's more, 8. I didn't see that. 8. So I can pull out an 8y, so this will make this 2, and this will make this 3, and this will make 2. Okay, so so far so good. So now, okay, like I said, first step, greatest common factor. So now we've got this thing in here. Well, now I'm going to use the AC method. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And so what factors of negative 4 will add to a positive 3? Well, that's going to be negative 1 and positive 4. So now I'm going to rewrite this as 2y squared plus 4y minus y minus 2. And so now I'm going to factor this by grouping. And so what do I get? I get 2y, which equals y plus 2. And then I'm going to factor out a negative 1 here. And that gives me y plus 2. And now my final answer is I'm going to get 8y times y plus 2 times 2y minus 1. And I'm done. That's it. Have a good day.